Hi there, yet again, we are diving into what is going on with this property tax debate. Affordability is decided at the time of purchase, not after the fact. As a realtor, obviously I help people to get into their homes, to make that decision to buy a home when the time is right for them. So when they buy a home, that entire system of the lender, the realtor, the underwriter, the appraisal, the whole loan process is built around a single crucial principle, which is affordability. So the lender qualifies the buyer using their income, their debt, and the current property tax rate. The realtor, of course, is going to guide the buyer to stay within the budget that they are interested in. The buyer signs a contract with the confidence that their payment, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance is within that affordability reach that they have done all of their homework for. They've done their due diligence, and guess what? That tax amount isn't an estimate. It is a certified figure from the county auditor that determines whether the loan can be approved at all. So what happens when those exterior forces like a reappraisal or levies or inflation or any of these government mismanagements later drive those property taxes up 20, 30, 40%, some even as high as 50% without any change to that homeowner's income, at least not at the same levels? The answer is that they would not even qualify for their home under today's numbers. So thousands of homeowners right now in Ohio and in other states, to be honest, especially seniors or those people on fixed incomes or first-time buyers, they are now living in homes that the system itself has made unaffordable after they bought it. It's not the homeowner's fault. It's not that they bought outside of their budget. It's not fair, and it is a financial entrapment. So I want to dive into why and how I think this system is broken and give you some proof. So the affordability aspect is not being protected. So just like we talked about, when you buy the home, your affordability is calculated using your income and the current property tax rate. But over time, the counties and the state and all of those municipalities and the levies keep adding and stacking against you. So not real income growth, but real taxations that hit the bottom line. Today, many homeowners could not qualify for the same home they already own, because at the current property tax rates, many people could not make up that $100, $200, or $400 a month difference that is in their tax value. That's not fair. Again, it is a financial entrapment. 2, our communities are double taxed on growth. What does this mean? When schools and fire stations and infrastructure are funded through levies, the logic is that current population justifies the cost. But then you have new developments that come in. They add homes and new tax base. And then that new tax base should naturally increase the revenue, not raise existing homeowners' bills. Instead, our counties keep pushing levies higher on the same people who have already paid for that last round of growth. And that's how we're double taxing on our growth in our communities. The third factor here, I'm going to dive deep into this, is about the property taxes never going down, even when the property's value did. Now, some adjustments, you have a small millage, you have a levy that may fall off. There's going to be some tweaking, but during that, you might remember the 2008, 2012 cycle where homeowners everywhere lost value. It was a major housing crisis and a bubble that popped. Homeowners across Ohio lost tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars in the value of their home during that time. And yet, while the values plummeted, families lost homes, and communities suffered, our property taxes stayed the same or even increased. Don't believe me? Pull your tax bill. Take a look at it. So I've done the deeper dive, and I wanted to see what exactly am I looking at. And year over year, the property tax on the home where I live It has increased. My property taxes never decreased. I looked specifically to see about 2008. Nope, those were higher than in 2007. Okay, what about 2009? Nope, those are higher than in 2008. Every year, my property taxes increased. Every year. There was no tax break because of the crash in 2008 or 9 or 10 or 2011 or 2012. And so by the time you start getting out of that bubble, you would think, okay, now we can come back to a normal fix. No, it just kept incrementally going up. Failure on the system is to realize that the system is rigged against the people. It rises fast in good times and it never resets during those bad times. So what's the logical fix? Since we're talking about making it better, how about you freeze or cap property tax increases to inflation or the income growth? Prorate new developments into the revenue base without punishing those long-term original owners. Or require affordability impact statements before approving new levies. People should not be just voting yes or no on a levy without having true transparency. And how about, more importantly, enforce fiscal transparency from our municipalities, from these entities who get to tax us. Enforce fiscal transparency so that the taxpayers can see exactly how much is collected, where it goes, and when enough is enough. Because here's the thing. If during a housing crisis such as 2008 to 2012 happened and there was no adjustment to our property tax base, the system, or the calculations, then this will never come down. And the only answer left is to put this on the ballot and let the people vote, because the people have had enough. And our call to action is this: Governor DeWine and any county officials who are in charge of working with our property tax system. We want real change. We want real answers. We want real transparency, and we want a real system that can actually work for us. Property taxes should never price people out of their homes after the fact due to affordability. That is not their issue. It is your problem to solve. It's time to demand the accountability, the transparency, and a structural reform. And if you are unsure why I, as a realtor, am talking about this, trying to protect home ownership rights and bringing advocacy to the forefront, it is simply because the heartbreaking stories of people in a dire situation ready to lose their home as a result of high, outrageous property tax values and an increase that they no longer can support is not what I'm in the business of working with. I want to work with people to be in the home that gives them peace and security and equity potential, where people can build their wealth for generations in the future, to set an example on community living and well-being, and not be a part of a broken system that brings heartbreak and terror and financial distress to people. I'm in this business for the right reason, and that's to help people make their house a home and to live the American dream of home ownership. And this system is broken, but it can be fixed. It can be abolished, and it could be replaced.